But one thing I really wanted to talk about, one thing that I am doing the next 4 weeks, if I can borrow the microphone for a
Yeah,
second, I
absolutely.
had an opportunity to raise money for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. They're doing their Visionaries of the Year campaign. And what they're doing is they this came to me. I'm a cancer survivor. I had Hodgkin's disease back in 1998, and I've always been looking for a way to give back. And it came to me a couple of months ago. I was nominated to be part of this Visionaries of the Year campaign, and they give you 10 weeks to try to raise as much money as you can for lymphoma and leukemia research. What's very exciting is that what they're doing is they're raising money to fund clinical trials. The science is in. They're running clinical trials now for taking chemotherapy for kids with leukemia and getting rid of it so that they can just have a pill. And I didn't know this, but there are no treatments for leukemia. There are no kid-focused treatments for leukemia. They take adult doses, they take adult treatments and they mini-me them. They downsize them and give them to kids. And later in life, they end up with organ failure, major health problems, and sometimes it kills them. And I heard that, I'm like, that's so unacceptable. And they said, but now the science is actually here that they can get rid of all of that. We can end that barbaric era and we can actually solve it, and they can take a pill instead and like have no side effects. I was like, oh my God, sign me up. What do we do? They said, well, join this Visionaries program. You have 10 weeks, go. And I sat around for 6 weeks going, what's my vision? What am I going to do for 6 weeks? So I had to bake it, right? And they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm thinking. And then last week I figured it out. I created a campaign called 10,000 Heroes, and I'm finding 10,000 people who are willing to donate $100. And that's $1 million. If we can raise $1 million, so in the next 4 weeks, I'm looking to raise $1 million by $100 donations across 10,000 people. I'm also partnered with Mattel's Play It Forward. That's their charitable giving arm through their children's foundation. They don't raise money, but they do a lot of in-kind donations, and they have something called Brave Barbie, which they've given 100,000 Brave Barbies out over 10 years now. They just hit their 10-year anniversary. An amazing program. So they've agreed to partner with me and the LLS, and I'm going out to like corporate sponsorships and driving to try to find people and on the corporate level that are willing to make those kind of donations, while at the private level, personal level, peeling out across all my socials and my whole network, looking for people, anybody, between all of us and everyone, we must know 10,000 people who have been touched by leukemia or lymphoma in some way, are willing to make $100 donation to literally, not just to fund cancer research, but to literally change the world and go to drive clinical trials from chemotherapy to a pill. It's really specific, and the moment is here and now. Um, one of the things I'm cooking up, and I'm really glad we're able to have this interview because I want to use this to promote. I'm going to say a date right now, and I hope we can stick to it. Well, we have to. We have no choice. But May 11th, which is a Saturday, I'm going to put together a Jerry Lewis-like telethon. I want to put together like a
Okay.
YouTube-a-thon full of animation people and actors and directors and producers, and every hour bring in a new group, and I'll stay on for 24 hours, and we're going to drive the whole animation community because I mean we're making stuff for kids all the time. This is all about kids, barbarically being treated by chemotherapy. There's no way we can't somehow leverage this community to raise $100 from 10,000 people around the world. So if you'll help me promote that, I
Yeah,
would.
absolutely. It's such a
I'm
great
putting together.
cause.
Oh, you know what? It is. And the people at LLS are so great. Like they're the most amazing people. And they've opened my eyes to this, this entire community of doctors and researchers and philanthropists, people work doing this work. But also, for 25 years, I've been looking for where my give back is. Where's my lane? Like, I recovered from Hodgkin's disease because of clinical trials. And, people went through that, clinical trials to save my life. I have a life debt that I never was able to pay back. And this dropped into my lap. And so I'm like, all right. So I spent 6 years thinking, 25 years thinking about it, 6 weeks marinating on it. And now I'm like 4 weeks to go. And like, it's always got to happen in the clutch. I can't do anything without a deadline. So, but it all came through. Like I set my website up this morning. I finished a social media post video last night, which I'd love you to link to. And like, I'm going to be completely annoying and try to be so prolific with this message over the next 4 weeks. And because it's an exciting thing, and I just think I believe in this community. I believe this community can change the world. Well, I've got my Visionary of the Year sunglasses on. LLS is the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society.
Right now, there's no specific treatment for leukemia for kids. Kids with cancer are receiving adult treatments in reduced doses. It leads to organ failure and sometimes death. The cure ends up killing them. This can change. There's new genetic research underway and clinical trials that are ready to go that will take this treatment from chemotherapy to a pill, bringing together the world's greatest scientists, medical researchers, pharmaceutical companies, and hospitals. So we're starting a program called 10,000 Heroes. 10,000 people giving a $100 tax-deductible donation to change the future of hundreds of thousands of kids with cancer to go from having chemotherapy to having a pill. You can go to 10kheroes.com. Please share this link with your friends, share this story, join the fight, fund the cure.